Welcome to Around the Hearth, a Hearthstone podcast brought to you weekly.
Hey guys, and welcome to Around the Hearth, a Hearthstone podcast thrown together by a bunch of guys who met on Reddit. I'm
That's
Evil
us.
Squirrel, and next to me we got...
I'm ZT Dubs. What's up, guys?
And welcome, thanks for joining us again for another awesome episode of Around the Hearth. Thanks for being here and making this a fun experience for everyone here.
Oh, yeah.
So, as we always do, we like to start the show talking about what we did in Hearthstone this week. So, Dubs, why don't you tell us what you did?
So pretty much what I've been doing is playing Control Mage. Let me tell you, I read about the deck a few weeks, 2 weeks ago. I started trying it out, playing it here and there. But I started, really playing it lately, and it's really good. It's really hard. I mean, I feel like, Eye for an Eye is like the only card that's what beats the deck. If you don't have that card, you're not going to win, in my opinion. So
yeah,
I haven't lost a single game since I've been playing it. And I don't know if I'm just lucky or what's going on, but that deck's really good.
Awesome. So, this has been a good week for me. I hit Legend last week, so this week I just kind of spent the time just having fun, playing around. Today I played against Purple, and so that was fun. I also met Kara Cute, and she had her revenge. I beat her last season, and she beat me this season. So always fun to play against some pros.
Definitely.
It was fun. Me and Bobson were playing the same deck, which is my Hyper Aggro Murloc deck, which we'll talk about later in the show as our deck of the week. But it's funny because I had a situation come up, and Bobson actually had it as his final boss for Legend, where we were playing our Murloc deck against a mage, got him down to 1 health, and then got the good old Eye for an Eye up. And
that hasn't happened to me. That's
basically
so
checkmate at that point. So it's always fun to have your opponent ping himself to death, especially when Bobson hit Legend with it. So congrats to him for hitting Legend this week using my list. It's definitely a fun list, and I recommend it. I got a couple other friends of mine who listen to the podcast and watch the show, just friends of mine in the game, and they've been playing it, and they've been doing really well with it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, it was a good week. And now I have to figure out what I want to do coming up for next season. Where, we have one more day. We have tomorrow. And then next season. I definitely want to play some Wild. I actually, there's a couple of different decks I want to try that I've been really wanting to get my hands into. A couple of different N'Zoth variations, things that I want to play. I'm just loving playing Paladin right now, but I have the itch to get my Golden Mage. I'm about 100 games off, so if I dedicate the month to Mage, I could probably do it. So I don't know. I'm a little indecisive, so we'll see. If you have an opinion of what I should play, you should write in at aroundthehearthpodcast@gmail.com and tell me what you think. And maybe I'll listen to you, and maybe I won't.
Rogue? Nope.
Yeah. So that's what's going on here. So with that, let's go into the news of the week.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we started off the week with the Hearthstone. We kind of ended off the week with the Hearthstone Championship Tour. It was awesome. Did you get a chance to watch any of that, Dubs?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I caught a few matches of Muzzy, who, congrats to him. He was wrecking it.
Yeah. Muzzy went undefeated. Everyone was joking around about the curse of going undefeated in the Swiss round, and then kind of getting dropped out, in the first round of elimination. I think the only other person was Doc Pone, actually, who actually made it through undefeated to the next round. He played like a pro, and Muzzy's been around for a long time. He's no newbie to the group, and it's good to see him, finally have a good breakout performance.
Oh yeah.
A lot of notable names went out really early. Dog went out very early, and Amnesiac, and a lot of the favorites that people thought would be going pretty far did not. So there were a lot of names that we didn't recognize. There were a lot of people from South America actually that were representing,
Hmm.
which is good to see diversity. So yeah, the two of the players, the Kunek, who is the second place second place or the runner up, whatever you want to call them, and Diego
The first
Diaz.
loser.
Yeah, Diego Diaz played it really good. I watched a lot of his matches, and he's a really smart guy. He can get himself out of a pickle when he gets into one, and he played really well. Ant, of course, also made the top four, and he's just a name that's been around for a long time. Everyone knows who Ant is, and he's a good player. So, but all the matches that I watched were fantastic. Um, and it was a good weekend of Hearthstone. I think next week it will be Asia Pac, right?
I believe so. Usually they're last.
China was first, then Europe, then we had Americas. So then the last four to go to Shanghai will be from Asia Pac. So that will be um, next week.
Yeah, I believe
Uh,
they're usually last to go for the order. So
yeah. So that's pretty much it on HCT. Um, the next little, is pretty quiet in the news for the week. So the next thing that we have to talk about is the arena rewards. Dubs, why don't you tell us what's going on there?
I'm not 100% informed on this, but from what I've been reading is Ben Brode is saying they're cutting down on the diversity of all the arena rewards. Making it so you can get more gold, or it's not a whole bunch of things you can get. It's a lot more like standard list of what's available to you after you complete your arena run. I don't know if I've missed anything, but
Well, a Reddit post was put out that actually they'd seen it from a year ago. Then a big topic in Reddit, of course, is always arena rewards because let's
yeah.
face it, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. They don't scale appropriately at all. Um, I think that the bottom of the arena awards barrel seems to be about right because you're paying 150 gold, and no matter what, you're getting 100 gold worth of, you get a pack, so you're getting
Yeah.
100 gold. So
Usually you
it's
get about 20 golds or so too, anyways. It's like,
so the worst you can do is lose 50 gold, um, in that respect. But once you start scaling, you have to get, I think, to like 7 or 8 or even 9 wins to be considered like an infinite where you make
mm,
your money back. And really, 9 wins is professional level. When you look at the the leaderboards for arena, over a 30 run period, you're looking at people that have like 7.8, 7.6, 7.5 wins on average, and they are the professionals. They're the best of the best. So,
they're not
it's
even getting anything.
and then you get this 12 run, 12 win run, and then you get like 2 packs and like 300 gold, and it's just you feel, I don't know, you feel kind of cheated.
Yeah.
So I mean, I personally never made it there, but I have a lot of friends who are arena players, and I'm actually interested to maybe do an arena themed episode coming up soon.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'd be down for that.
and I just don't think that the rewards are good. So anyway, the long tangent off of that, Ben. They called him out to say, you said a year ago you're going to talk about this, especially one of the things that was brought up was the fact that like one of the rewards you can get is a common card, just like
Yeah. Some guy got silenced or something like that. Or
yeah.
something like
So
that. I don't
so
know. He was
so
pissed.
they
He
said
was
he
like,
said that
oh,
they would talk about it, and then it's been a year and nothing's happened. So
yeah.
Ben replied and basically said that the reason that they put a common card in was that it used to actually just be a 5 dust slot, and that they realized that 5 dust is basically equivalent to a common card, and that a common card would be more valuable to new players
Mm.
who go into the arena when they can't play in ranked very well. And it makes perfect sense to me, because I used to always tell my friends when they were starting a year ago, I would say, finish your introduction, get your guy to level 20, or rank 20, and then go into the arena and play because
Yeah.
then you're on a level playing ground, and then build up your collection that way. So I get it, and I definitely don't disagree with the lower rewards, but I just don't feel they scale right.
I mean, yeah, it's good for new players, but once you're like, kind of on our level, very competent at the game, we understand tier systems and all that stuff. We start playing, we feel cheated. Like if my wife plays, she's like, "Oh, I got a pack and I got 300, like 150 gold. Oh, wow." If she does pretty decent. And then to her, that's awesome. But if I would have got that, but are you serious? I just wasted all this time. I could have been, grinding on the ladder, doing what else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's just me, I guess.
sure. So hopefully, Ben did say that they're going to look into it and whatever. But they also said that there are some. There's been he didn't really want to talk much about arena because there's been a lot of arena change lately, which is very true.
Yeah.
And they actually have a couple of more things in the pipe that they're kind of finishing up, whatever they may be. So we will just have to wait and see. Um,
I don't know.
Now
I don't
another
play
thing
arena
not
much, so whatever happens, I'll be happy.
another thing not in the news that we can kind of discuss real quick since we're on this topic is ranked rewards. Um, and I honestly feel that the ranked reward system um, is not so good, especially when you look at the amount of time that you're putting in and what you get for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I
What do
mean,
you,
I'm pretty content with rank 5 getting an epic. I think it's when you get to legend, that's when you should be rewarded with maybe two golden epics, or maybe a legendary that's not golden, or something. Because like if you think about it, you get the same reward if you're rank 5 or if you're rank 1 legend. So what's the incentive to push to legend? If like us, we've been a legend a bunch of times. What's the incentive?
you know,
You're
you
not
get
getting
you
any
get
rewards.
you technically get one more golden common
Ooh.
for hitting
Yeah.
legend. Exactly.
That 50 extra dust. All right.
Yeah, there was a fantastic article that someone posted on Reddit, and the gist of the article, and I'm sorry I can't quote where it's from, but I will try to put it and I link it in the show notes. Um, and it basically said you shouldn't be aiming for legend, you should be aiming for rank 5 every
That's
season.
what I usually do. I just go to rank
And
5.
and it talked about how the rewards scale, um, and and how much incrementally they get better as you progress, and the biggest jumps, are at 15 when you get your golden rare, and then at 5 when you get your golden epic, and after that it's just it's nothing.
Yeah.
So it was a fantastic article with a lot of really good mathematical stuff in it for the number nerds like me. Um, but it's true. I really feel like at 15 you should get a golden common. At 10 you should get a golden common, golden rare. At 5, golden common, golden rare, golden epic. And then if you hit legendary, um, those three goldens plus something else not common. Either another rare or another epic.
Hmm.
I mean, because really, for all you who play ladder, you know that the rares are so much more better and so much more played than the epics. So if you're
Yeah.
just looking for dust, sure, epics produce a lot more, but I find that I use the golden rares way more
Yeah,
than the
like I really like it when I get a golden wild pyromancer, or golden something that I use all the time. And I'm like, oh sweet, I was just gonna bling out my deck. Compared to if I get a golden epic, I'm like, oh, like I get like golden. I don't know, what's a crappy epic? I don't know, but
well,
yeah, I guess some,
I got 3 months in a row. I got the poisoned dagger thing, that from the rogue poison dagger, where when you hero power it gets +1.
mhm.
That epic 3 in a row is the trashiest weapon ever created, and I got it three seasons in a row. So
Yeah, it's almost a free legendary. I don't
yeah,
know.
but
I was playing when I hit rank 1 legend. I got, what did I get? I can't remember. It was like a really bad epic. And I was just like, wow. It's like, okay, this
yeah,
is what I get for accomplishing the impossible.
Yeah, exactly. For 31 days of hard work, it just feels a little off, especially when you can go to an arena and get, a golden rare for 8 wins that you can do in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
It just feels weird, just the whole thing. So I think that needs to be looked at as well. Okay, so that was enough of my crazy tangent for today. Um, there's one more thing in the news that we wanted to discuss, which was the Wild tournament qualifications. Um, and so the very interesting thing about this was is at the beginning of the month they tweeted that there was going to be a Wild tournament for the top 64 players um, to compete in, and that's all they said.
Mm.
So come to I believe it was the 22nd of the month, they finally released the rules for the tournament. And the tournament basically said that you have to live in the region that you qualify in.
Mm.
So if you're European and if you finish rank one wild on the America's servers, you don't qualify.
Wow.
So
I
so
didn't hear about that. I'd be pissed off.
yeah,
Oh
so
man.
so there was a lot of people that were pissed off because of just of things like that. But then there was another big issue, and the big issue was is that in the notes of the competition, it stated that Australia and the surrounding islands and areas around Australia had to play on the Asia servers, and those all those countries by BattleNet rules defaulted to the America servers.
Mm.
So they're like, you telling us to play on the America servers? We've played on the America servers, and now you're telling us that we're in the wrong region. So there was a lot of backlash from the community, and Blizzard actually came out and said we apologize, and they changed the rules to have the countries align with what the standard BattleNet rules were.
That's
So
good. I'd be
yeah,
so
so they
mad.
did fix that mistake, but that was people were in a big uproar about
Oh,
that,
I
and
bet.
for just cause. I have a couple of people that I know on my friends list that are going for it. I have one friend, another squirrel actually. He's a MTG Squirrel, I believe is his name.
I think I'm friends with him on here too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it sounds familiar at least.
yeah. So he's a good wild player. He's in the top. I think he's in the top 50 last I checked. So he's a lot of fun to talk to and a fellow squirrel. So we always like talking about it. So if any of you are out there last minute grinding the wild stuff, we wish you the best of luck and
Yeah,
uh,
guys. Good luck.
write us in at aroundthehearthpodcast@gmail.com and let us know how you did. We'd love to promote you if you wind up going into the tournament, and we'd love to root some of our viewers on. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean,
all right, so that's it for the news.
let's go ahead and move on to the meta. Nothing's changed, but let's talk about it anyways. So over here we have Tier 1. This is through Tempo Storm's Meta Snapshot. We have Control Mage, Aggro Druid, Mid-Range Paladin, Pirate Warrior, Secret Mage, Aggro Paladin. And I believe this is the same exact one as last week.
Yes,
And then
it is, and it sounds about right for
yeah,
especially what I've been seeing in the Legend ladder.
I agree with Control Mage and Aggro Druid being top two because that's all I see when I play.
Yep, there's just a ton of the aggro druid, and the aggro druid is just so powerful on its own. But it runs the hunger crabs, so it runs the whole crab package usually. So it's just so strong against the other aggro decks. I mean, playing aggro paladin, when I see an aggro druid, I know that I'm heavily unfavored.
Yeah.
It's very strong. The control mage is just super strong. It's just a lot of fun, to play these decks, and it's just great the diversity still. There's just even though they're strong, you still have lots of different classes.
Oh yeah, it's not shaman, warrior,
Yeah.
which is all
And
I
it,
care
it's
about.
good. we're 2 months into the meta. We're halfway through
Hmm.
Ungoro, and it feels fresh. It doesn't feel stale at all yet.
Yeah, they did a great job. I'm very impressed with the way they designed the cards this set.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of discussion about what was more impactful. Was it Ungoro or was it the stuff that left? And I think it was both. I think they did a fabulous job with card design. Um, but the rotation was just huge. It really, all the cards that we were just getting so tired of seeing are gone. And especially just, when I say that in standard, I should say. But it
Yeah.
also made wild more fresh in that respect, because there's a lot of stuff that's only wild.
Yeah, it makes it more fun too. Cause you're like, before you're like, oh, I could just play this in standard too, but now like you're playing like wild decks. I really think the 3 set, no, the 5 set now gap really, that's defining wild now. It makes it more fun and respectful to play, I guess you'd say.
Absolutely. And come next year with the next rotation,
Oh, it's gonna be
um,
great.
it's going to be even crazier. Um, and but the Blizzard's going to have to think about something, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to become legacy that people aren't going to be able to get their hands on.
I will
Uh,
honestly, I think they're gonna end up coming up with another format in maybe 3 years, like wild, wild, and then something else. Because some of these combos are just gonna get out of hand, and there's no way they're gonna be able to balance all these cards
yeah,
eventually. I don't know. We'll see. This game's still brand new.
yeah. But I'm just super excited that I feel good about it right now. Let's see
Yeah,
how I feel at the end of next month. For the most part, for the last few sets, at the end of the third month, I was pretty burnt out on the meta.
yeah,
And like at the end of the Gadgetzan meta, I just basically stopped playing and just played Zelda
yeah.
for
I
for a
was
month.
I
Um,
was so burnt out. I was like, please, just make
yeah,
it stop.
and then the set before that, same thing. So I just feel like, I'm feeling good now. I hope in 4 weeks, I'm still feeling good. But there's so many more decks I want to play. I focus so
Yeah.
much on my rock palette, and that there's so much more I have to play. I haven't even messed really with Mage. I haven't really messed too much with Priest or Rogue. I started playing with Rogue at the beginning of Ungaro, when I crafted the Golden Corpse Flower.
Infamous
Um,
Quest
and
Rogue
uh, and
and
then I
Omega
just kind of
Rogue.
forgot about it. So I want to go back to Rogue, and give that a shot too. So
Yeah, they're both pretty high tier two as well. So I mean, it's not like they're bad decks.
no, they're good, and that's the best part about it, is that you don't feel terrible unless you're playing Quest Warlock. Uh, you don't feel terrible.
I'm just sad to see Hunter all the way down in tier three. Like I really thought it was, doing good.
Yeah, I really did too, and I started out the season playing some Hunter, and it just slowly fell off. The alley cat into the razor claw, the guy that adapts your guy, and like it just felt like you just had such a strong start,
Yeah.
but the Murlocs were just so much faster, so they just couldn't keep up.
Is this the third set in a row that Hunter has just been dead? I mean,
Uh,
excluding Karazhan, because that was a very short lived thing. But I mean, like actual sets.
yeah, I mean Karazhan was a full, when you think about it, a full cycle.
Was
And
it for
and
months? I guess it
Yeah,
was.
the second half of Karazhan, Secret Hunter, took off. And I
Maybe that's
played
what I was thinking of.
I
I
played
was
a
like, it
lot.
didn't
I
last very
played a
long.
lot of Secret Hunter,
Oh yeah, me too.
and I love that deck. Patra, I watched her stream a lot on Twitch, and she was playing it, and I really like the deck. So, but anyway, so yeah, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's talk about your Hyper Aggro Murloc Paladin, the infamous deck that's bringing everyone to legend.
Yeah, so this is a really fun list. I found it, when I was first looking around at Murloc decks. I was trying to see like the differences between them all, and like who's running what, why are certain people running certain cards, is Tyrion worth having in your deck, like where do you top off? And you know, I really I saw the mid range paladin out there, and I said to myself, you know, I don't really want to be running this right now. It's fantastic, but I want to be running
Yeah.
something super fast and super aggressive. So I kind of tweaked around with a couple of different decks that I saw and kind of built my own version of it, which I will post in the show notes for everyone to see. But the premise of it is basically get your shit out as fast as possible and murder your opponent. You really want to make sure that you have to have board control. This deck is absolutely terrible if you don't gain board control. Going first is like a ridiculous advantage. It's almost like a 70-30, like win rate if you go first, but like it's like maybe a 50-50 if you go second because you just need to really have that board control.
Yeah.
Um, so some of the notables that I have in there, I mean, I do have two Grimscale Chums. I do run two Grimscale Oracles, and those are not present in a lot of decks. And the reason I run them is because I don't use them as one drops. I will mulligan them away because you really want to get different one drops.
Yeah.
You want to get your Tidecaller, you want to get your Bilefin Inquisitors, you want to get those cards. But the Grimscale Oracle on turn like 2 or 3, depending on what you have, can really surprise your opponent and give you some value trades, and really just let you take board from someone that didn't think you were going to be able to take board. And it's only one mana to give all your guys +1, all your Murlocs, which is basically all your guys.
Yeah.
And it's a really good surprise card. So I run it. I find it very valuable. So you have all the general stuff in there. I do run two Steward of Darkshires. I find I don't usually keep them in a starting hand, but they are a fantastic turn 5. If you can get a Steward of Darkshire and then coin out or play on turn 5 one of your Murlocs that is like a 2/1 that summons, like your Bilefin, that summons another 1/1. You're getting two guys with divine shields.
It's always super powerful.
Yes, and then the next turn you go into that and you can play like a Cold Light Oracle, or you could play your War Leader. Then you're just getting out of hand because you have these Divine Shield Murlocs and it's just
They're true.
they're
warriors.
Yeah. I do run Finja. I find more often than not I don't really play him that often. Like he just doesn't come up because I never keep him in my starting hand.
Yeah. You'd be silly too.
And I never keep him in my starting hand, and I just kind of hope to draw him around 4 or 5. And if he comes out, he's fantastic. But honestly, he doesn't see a lot of play. I find like he doesn't see a lot of play, but when he does see play, he's really, really good. So it's always worth having him in there. But the two absolute MVPs of the deck are your Stonehill Defenders and your Sunkeeper Term.
Yeah, Stonehill Defender is just so good. Like for just a 1/4 taunt, like, you don't expect much, but he can get a Tarum.
Yeah, absolutely, or a Tyrion. So the nice thing about him is, first off, he's a 1/4. So against aggro, he can kind of soak up a little bit of damage and kind of keep your Murlocs up.
He could potentially kill 2 or 3 minions.
Could potentially kill 2 or 3 minions. Yeah. He could take a Fiery War Axe swing. It just he soaks up the damage. But what the taunts that he gives you are just so you can adjust according to your game plan. Like if you just need like a little, if you're playing like a Pirate Warrior, you grab a little tiny taunt like a 2/2 or a 2/3, and it does a lot of work. But you can get. I mean, I can't tell you. It's got to be a third of the time I got a Stonekeeper Term off him.
Well, yeah, I think there's not that many Paladin cards with taunt, and Paladin and class cards are like heavily favored.
So there's him. you can get yourself a Tyrion if you know your game's going to go a little long.
Yeah.
There's the other guy, I can't think of his name, who's the 7 mana 6/6. Give adjacent minions divine shield. Um, so there's just you just have so many amazing options. But Stonekeeper Tam is the best card I would probably say in this set. He
Oh, I agree.
he can swing the board in such a way because it takes three guys. We were talking about this when we were previewing the set. It takes three opponents' guys to trade into him just to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 3-for-1, and you're making all your guys 3/3s. So you're essentially healing your guys if they've taken damage.
My favorite thing is to have War Leader out, trade all their guys, and then
Yeah.
buff them. It's
Exactly.
so good.
So good. And then like I've played Stonekeeper Tom, and then I've had another one in my hand from Stonehill Defender, and then they do a whole bunch of stuff and think, oh, haha, I've gotten past you, and then I play another Stonekeeper Tom, and it's just disgusting. And he is a fantastic card. And that's it. I mean, you're just running fast Murlocs, and I'll post the list. I highly recommend it. It took me to Legend very fast this month. Bobson did a late last minute Legend run, got him to Legend, and I do have quite a few friends who I've shared the list with. Amazingly, I did it without using the new tool that they're going to be introducing into the game. But
With copy and paste.
Yeah, copy and paste. But it's a fantastic deck if you're just looking for some burst and you don't want to feel terrible for playing a Pirate Warrior.
I'll still play Pirate Warrior. I don't care. All right. Yes. I mean, I don't have really anything else on my list to talk about. I mean, do you have anything else?
Well, so at the end of a last episode, we did get cut off, unfortunately. I don't know what happened. We had some technical difficulties.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But we did get our first email sent in. So I wanted to read that. And the email comes from Kai. And Kai says, yo, Squirrel, you wimped out on the Lakari sacrifice? Surely that 3,200 dust can't have been spent for nothing, right? Keep the show up, lads. Haha, lots of fun to watch. So I need to correct you here, Kai. It was actually 6,400 dust because I did also craft the golden clutch mother. So, but I did have a lot of warlock quests lately, and when I do get the warlock quests, I keep them. I play in that amazing mode we call casual, and I actually do pretty well with it. With my new game plan of the mid-range paladin and the tuning, mid-range warlock, and the tuning that I've done, it's actually a lot of fun to play, and it's kind of working out. I'm actually maybe in the early next month. What I'll do is I'll try to build a wild version of it.
Ooh.
I think a wild version of it would be pretty awesome. So we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely not any tier of its own. So 6,400 dust. At least I get 3,200 back when I disenchant them. That's
a big win. Those are your babies.
Yeah. So thank you for writing in. Again, anyone you can write in at aroundthehearthpodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet to us at Around the Hearth. Like us on Facebook. We have lots of fun stuff that we post on there. Bobson is our media guy, and he posts all sorts of funny screenshots and things, and we'd love to share your stuff. So, help us make this podcast great again. And that's all I got. We got our Patreon. If you'd like to be our first Patreon person, we will give you a super shout out. Plus, you'll get all the perks and benefits of being our friend in game, playing best of fives versus us online.
And you get to be a member on the show.
Streamed. You might even get an appearance on the show. Yeah. If you're a girl, you definitely get an appearance on the show. But I mean, we'll see about that. Our wives might have.
Yeah, don't tell my wife you said that.
Yeah, don't tell my wife. So, all right. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. It's been a good show. It's a short one today. Bobson's out a little under the weather.
And we don't have our talker with us, so we're straight to the point.
Yeah, straight to the. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a great week. I hope your rewards at the end of the season are fantastic.
Oh wait,
And
they can't because the rewards suck.
yeah, as good as they could get.
Yeah,
I hope your comment is something you use.
yeah. I hope it's a common Argent Squire. You get a golden
Yes.
Argent Squire. That's always welcomed.
All right,
All
guys.
right,
Well,
guys.
thank you very much, and take care, and
Bye
have a good.
bye.
Bye bye.
See you next season.